All right, it is time for updates from the Empire, and those updates are coming directly from the 518. Jeff Levack is my name, but it's good to see my buddy, my pal, my brother from another mother, head coach Tom Menas, with us right here in the 518. How was the trip?
It was a blast.
I hate you so much.
I know.
So mad at you.
So
So mad.
the Camaro got a chance to
beautiful.
eat on
It
the
is
way up.
freaking beautiful.
If there's no state troopers listening, and the
And if they
Pennsylvania
are,
Turnpike.
listen, theoretically speaking, what would you have done if you had the chance driving?
Well, it was funny. I was making great time. We'll just say that. So
I like
don't
that. I like
incriminate myself. And there was a point where I was making really great time. And I think the odometer, the RPMs were close to 5, 6 at the time. And there was one truck in the right lane, and I just was getting over and coming around him. And just as I came around him, there was a state trooper sitting on the knob there, but happened to be pointing his gun the opposite direction. So as soon as I got over the hill, I hit the brake, pumped it, brushed it a little bit, got myself over, kept looking in that rearview mirror, seeing that I was waiting for him to pull out and just come get me. But no, it was a good trip. I love long drives because.
Oh wait, so you drove from what is it?
Lapeer,
Michigan. I can never say it right.
Lapeer, Michigan.
So how long is that in the car?
But I make it probably about 11 and a half because I stop, get gas, get something to eat. Last time I did a really long road trip without stopping, didn't end up well for me for a couple of days. Ended up getting an aneurysm.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, from a blood clot from a knee surgery, and it didn't work out good. So every 3-4 hours, I pull in.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, and I wanted to enjoy it, and so had a great trip. Came down to. Got in town, and it's funny because I did bring the Camaro. So every chance for the last 2 weeks, Susan and I have been checking the weather forecast for Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, because my route, and hit a window. Got a little scary in Buffalo, coming out of Buffalo. There was a little bit of a flurry starting.
Buffalo's a scary place.
Yeah.
I hate you. So if anybody doesn't know, last year, there was a guy on the team who was selling his Camaro.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
And his Camaro was just far enough south that it didn't really see a lot of bad weather and everything like that. So I had pretty much worked out a deal with the guy. I was pretty much good.
You did. But it wasn't.
The only reason I say pretty much is for a reason it never happened.
Right.
I find out afterwards that somebody was trying to outbid me.
Yeah.
It was you.
Yeah.
Neither of us got the car. And then you go, and then
ended up cutting the guy.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. So
I think, I think you traded him. You're a nice person. You try to trade people before you cut them.
Right.
I'll give you credit for that. But I wish you'd let me know it was coming.
Should have sold us the car. You have a job.
That's right. I would have pushed up the negotiations a little faster too had I known. But and then you buy this thing and it's beautiful.
Well, it was funny because what happened was,
I'm a Chevy guy.
I know.
So
and I'm now a Chevy guy. Because we also bought the ZR1 Colorado.
Those are nice.
Yeah, and Susan's driving that because we still probably got another month and a half of bad weather back home, and then about midsummer she'll drive the truck in and we'll swap, and she can have it the rest of the summer, the Camaro, and I'll drive the truck. But what was funny is that gentleman you're talking about who was teasing both of us last year, sent me a picture of the car.
Yep.
And I sent it to Susan, and I said, hey, if Jeff doesn't take this car, I want to buy it. And she said, absolutely. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. And da-da-da. And I said, okay, great. Well, she kept that picture in her phone. And when I got back, we kind of had this, if not now, when moment, back in my days, I had some very nice exotic cars. And then you go through raising kids in colleges and this and that, and you give that all up. And then now she said, well, I'd be really interested. So we started car shopping and tried to get this one. And this one was stuck in Lansing. And people who don't believe the supply chain thing are out of their mind, because this car was literally an hour and a half away from us. And they told us we'd have to wait 3.5 months to get it.
Oh.
And so I said, well, I said that. And I said, well, we'll we'll patiently wait until we're not patiently waiting anymore. And then sure enough, like 3 days later, he called me up and he said, I got the car on a trailer to you.
Oh,
And so we were ecstatic. And we got it a little bit in the fall. We put a cover on it, let it sit in the winter. And now she eats on the turnpike. So it was fun.
car. It's a beautiful car.
Thank you.
It's my first love was a '69 Camaro.
Yeah.
All black. I think it had a
Yeah.
red interior. And I've never felt the same way about anyone. That's why I have an ex-wife.
But you know what's funny? You say you're a Chevy guy. I just, I've been a Ford guy my whole life. Ford pickups, F-150s,
No one's
250s.
perfect.
Yeah. So when we bought the Camaro, we fell in love with the service. We fell in love with the power of the car, all the good things that went with it. And we had an Explorer, a brand new Explorer, and we traded that in. And we bought the Colorado, which I didn't know. We could have bought a Sierra cheaper than the Colorado, but we got the one that's got, everything, the big tires and all that stuff in it. And I'll tell you what, it is a great truck and love it.
That wasn't a commercial for ball sponsor Mohawk Chevrolet. However, that my truck is.
To the people at Mohawk, will be coming out soon, right?
Yes.
And I need an oil change.
I'm sure we can talk to. I'll talk to Steve over there. We'll get you taken care of.
Thank you.
All right. So Coach is back, and of course, the 2023 Albany Empire season presented by TransFinder. Very excited about that. But some of the, some of our friends they're just like lined up to say hi to you. You got Lisa Edgar Murphy saying hi. At least she's got 2 accounts. She said hi twice.
Lisa. Hi, Lisa.
Unless there's a different Lisa Murphy. This is what I don't understand. Arena football statement. What's up, Tom and Jeff? You guys wrong.
It's Ducon, isn't it?
If loving Chevy Camaros is wrong, we don't want to be right. How's that? Does that work? Mary Jo says hi.
Hi, Mary Jo.
Lisa Murphy. Like, seriously, everybody missed you, Coach.
I missed them too.
DJ, hey guys, welcome back, Coach. I gotta tell you, when I came back, I got a lot of, why are you back? I thought you were going to Columbus. I didn't get a lot of this. You're getting the heroes welcome.
Very kind people.
Yeah, they like you better than me. That's for sure.
I don't know about that, but as long as you're winning, they like you.
Yeah, a little welcome homes, a lot of welcome backs, a lot of stuff for that. Speaking of great cars and great deals, how about our buddy Hal over at Fox? Yo, Coach has a hell of a tan for being in, and he's an Ohio State fan, so he leaves the M out of Michigan. I say no one's perfect. Hal, great guy, Ohio State fan. It's weird.
Perfect.
That's it. It's weird. I don't understand how that kind of stuff happens. No, so now that you're back, Steve Von Schiller, one of our welcome back to cold and snowy Albany. Like, you left Michigan to get more snow.
Yeah. I'm amazed
Ducon
that
wants you to buy
so
a Ferrari, by the way. Ducon thinks it's time.
Yeah.
Had one. Step off.
Had one.
Off the Camaros.
You don't want to get an oil change.
They break all the time, right? Isn't that the thing with them? They're so precision.
It's the funny thing about them is you spend all your money to buy one, and then you're told not to drive it because it depreciates. And then when you do drive it and you go in for your first service on a Testarossa, you could have bought a whole nother car just for them to do the service on it. I mean, it's a masterpiece. Right. And don't get me wrong. I know people that.
But if you don't drive it perfect, though, it like screws it up.
Yeah. Clutches are a big issue with that.
By the way.
You want to know a cool story?
Yes.
Off the table?
Charlotte says she's driving she's going to be driving it. She can't wait to drive the car, Coach.
All right, Charlotte. The funny thing is that I don't know a lot of people know this or not, but you know how Lamborghini started?
Wasn't he trying to build a Ferrari?
No, he was a Ferrari customer. And he brought the car back and he mentioned to Ferrari, Enzio, all the problems that were with the car. And of course, Enzio said, "Get the frig out of my office." And the guy went home and created the Lamborghini line.
And me, I complain about things and then I just go have a sandwich. So it's a different life. Apparently, so somehow this keeps autocorrecting to Coach means. So Menas means coaching. How's that? That's what it means.
I don't care.
So, yeah, I know. I knew you'd be all right, but Steve caught me, so you know how he is. He's All right. So since the last time that you were in the area, a couple things have changed here in the
Okay.
Empire. As we mentioned, we were able to add the Von Schiller family as minority owners. We've great time. I've talked about that a couple times. We've also added a certain gentleman, a new owner. Who this? Antonio Brown is now a part of. Yeah, he's a rapper actually now. Antonio Brown is now part owner with Mike Corda. They're equal partners, and his father, Touchdown Eddie Brown, is VP of football ops. He's joining the family, rejoining Albany Arena football, but joining the Empire for the first time. So where you sit as the head coach, like for me, my life just got a lot easier doing media stuff. It's a little easier when you tell people that Antonio Brown might show up. What does that mean for you to have new owners come in, both of local families and of national football fame?
I'm relatively comfortable around celebrities and NFL people, and I've been blessed to be able to meet and work with some very famous people. And I got asked right after the press conference, "Oh, how come you weren't at the press conference? Are you against this?" That was the funny thing.
Oh my God, people trying to make stuff out of this.
And I called Mike when we knew the deal was done, and I said, "Hey, if you need me there, I'm 2.5 hours away by plane. I'll be there." And he said, "If you want to come, we'd love to have you, but there's no need for you to come." And I thought about it, and I said, it's not about me being there endorsing this. They need no endorsement, right? What they've accomplished personally speaks for itself. And let's talk about them for a minute, okay? Here's exactly what I told Eddie Brown on the phone the day of the press conference, the morning of the press conference. When I talked to him, I said, people say Babe Ruth was the greatest football player or greatest baseball player of all time, yet no one's ever seen Babe Ruth play that's alive today.
Right.
Then there's a generation that thinks
you're not old enough.
No, I'm close.
All right.
Ty Cobb. So then there was a generation that saw Jim Brown play.
Yep.
And still to this day say Jim Brown was the greatest football player of all times, even though he only played 6 seasons.
Right.
Right. And I said, "Eddie, I just want you to know, I think you're the greatest arena football player to ever play. And I got a chance to coach against you while you were playing."
Well, all right. So where
I was in Detroit with the Fury when he was with Indianapolis.
Huh.
So I said, I had an opportunity not only to see you in your prime, but also to recognize greatness. And, anytime you surround yourself as a person, forget football, with people that are great at what they do, it's almost through osmosis, you become better at what you do. Right.
Right.
And you guys know my adage that I tell our team every year, Nelson Mandela, which I can't be great unless you're great. You can't be great unless I'm great. So he's the epitome of that statement. Great admiration for Eddie Brown. Antonio Brown. I talked to Antonio on the phone. He was super excited. That made me super excited. 7-time Pro Bowl, Super Bowl winner,
4-time All-Pro,
and arguably one day will be in the Hall of Fame. Just an unbelievable athlete at what he does, his precision routes he ran when he was with the Steelers. Good Lord. I mean, you talk about some things that are really special. As far as how he left the game, trust me, and this is from football, coach, you don't know the whole story on that. I'm not saying anybody was right or wrong, but I am saying you don't know the whole story on that. And people are going to always bring up good stuff, bad stuff, whatever. And I always tell people this, as a Christian, first and foremost, I don't judge people. I'm not going to judge someone, what they've been through in their life, what they've done in their life and all that. I just pray that they give me the same benefit and I'll give them the same benefit.
Judge not, lest ye be judged.
Thank you. And it's from this point, like I told AB on the phone, I said, I don't care, Pro Bowls, everything else, I'm in awe of it, but my relationship with you starts right now.
Yep.
and we're going to build a relationship like brothers by the time it's done. And I said, because if you come into our family, I'm going to treat you like a brother on day one. You don't have to earn my love. I'm going to give you my love.
Right.
And then how long we have that together is dependent on how much work we both put into it. So I love the guy. He's given me no reason for pause. I'm excited to have the Brown family. I told AB, I said, you're so blessed as a son to a great father that I had. What a dream come true to be together at this stage in your careers, in your life, and everything else. And I told AB and I told Eddie, I said, if I got my way, I am going to suit you up for one game, but you don't have to play. I just want you to retire an Albany Empire player and retire the same day with your dad, and we'll put up 2 banners up in the ceiling.
One of the arguments that happens in the office is and even back in my radio show, one of my biggest pet peeves is the 1-day contract. So he's got to play at least one play. That's all. I'm sorry.
Oh, I told him we'll do a kickoff, and I'll make sure Mark kicks it out of bounds. It'll be worth a point. Yeah. So,
well, I just kind of tackle a couple of those things you said. Like, one of the reasons that you didn't get here in time for it is how quick it all happened.
Yeah.
Like, and also to speak to like AB and like Eddie touch on Eddie Brown. Everywhere we go with him, you see people are just they just light up because they remember the championship game and the Firebirds and there's something about the Empire where we're starting to win people over, but there's still always that like, my first love was the Firebirds.
Yeah, what the hell?
My first love was the Firebirds.
Yeah, right. What do we got to do, man?
Right,
I'm just saying.
Well,
Okay.
Hopefully 3-peat.
Yeah. All right.
That's all. Come on.
That's all we got to do is 3-peat.
You already got the first 2 down.
Yeah.
So the beauty of it was how quick it all came to pass. And when look, I'm a Raiders fan, so I had a lot of fun taking shots at AB when he left the Raiders. Like I did on the radio, I did it whatever.
Yeah.
But when you start talking,
was that when he had a problem with his feet, right?
His feet, and then the helmet. He didn't want to wear. He didn't like the new helmets that the Raiders had. It was like a whole. But it was. I talked to actually.
I mean, hey, he could have worn
Harrison's
helmet.
Yeah. I actually got to talk to him a little about it. But like the beauty is, he just that special summer or whatever, that one thing, like somebody brings up like, I don't know, Myrtle Beach or something. You're like, oh,
right.
He starts, man, Blue Creek and like where he went to school. And so like, he has a fondness for the Capital Region.
Yeah.
So knowing that like Mike Corda's mission when he helped bring the team back was to make sure that we always kept his team. When you get somebody who loves this area as much as that guy does and has the ability to take us to the next level and is as dedicated, dude, how do you not open the doors, open your arms and come on in? I don't know. It's great.
Yeah, you're right. And, people don't realize, I think there's a study out that a kid actually develops his personality before he turns 9. And then between 9 and like 12, it's where you start utilizing your personality and what you start to have passions for, and you start getting good at things and you start developing and all the things that go with it. Think about it. He was here during that time.
Yeah.
Right. Where you're the most impressionable, where more things are coming to you. And if you hear him talk, he talks about the kindness of the people in the area.
Community. Yeah.
Community, and how it was, you could walk down the street and people say, hey, good morning. Hey, how are you? Hey, and I'm just happy for the guy. I mean,
one of our friends, Ryan McCarthy, Coach Menas' name gets auto-corrected to means Levack's quoting the Bible. What the hell show am I watching?
Jerry Springer.
It's fair.
Yeah.
So it's exciting, and I think it's going to be very interesting. I met with one of my friends today who might be doing some work with us, and he's not a sports guy. He literally like jokingly goes,
"Oh, he's perfect."
Right. Well, no, he's helping my end of it, the marketing end.
Okay,
of it.
I got you.
And he goes, "Listen, I'm not a big sport ball fan." Like jokingly, like, "I'm not a big sport ball fan." But this Antonio Brown guy is big deal, huh?
Yeah, right. Well, I was saying the other day, I mean, and when it hit, so TMZ, MSNBC, NBC,
Barstool.
Fox Sports, Barstool, they're all reaching out,
Yep.
Can we get a quote? Can we get this? Can we get that? And, it's kind of funny because they already had a predetermined in their head what they were going to write.
Do you know who was the fairest? TMZ.
I thought, Okay,
I
so
was shocked.
it was the craziest thing. Okay, you'll love this, right? So I'm on the phone with the commissioner, and we're talking about the rules, and we're going back and forth on some little nuances to the rules, and
We're going to cover all those again coming up in the show.
Yeah.
By the way, too.
and he goes, "I just got a text from TMZ."
Yeah.
I said, "Come on," because it was like one of the first ones to come out.
Right.
And I said, "Well, call him back.
Yeah.
We can talk later." And you're right. And TMZ, who is notorious for the shock value kind of
Right. Hollywood
articles.
news.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
Well, that's what it means. Like what's it, 20 mile zone or 30 miles?
20 miles.
That's
Yeah.
it's Hollywood.
But see, the thing about it is that most people don't realize a reporter isn't going to get a great following by saying, if your job's cover the airline industry, you can't say, "Hey, 5 planes landed safely today at Albany Airport." No, but if God forbid an airline were to blow a tire, that's a story, right? So, going in, you kind of think, well, get ready. We're going to get punched in the face. And by the grace of God, I think everyone was pretty good. I actually like Barstools too. It was sarcastically okay.
Oh my God. That was the one that drew a correlation to the Raiders press conference to our press conference, right?
Right.
Which I thought was hysterical.
Right.
Like it was like, well, if you did, he was this many minutes to this and this many minutes to that.
Yeah, because he was late.
And I'm just like, I was dying because there's people out
Man,
there.
if you had a coat like that, you can come 20 minutes late.
Well, I don't know if I got to tell you what happened. We told him, hey, we're going to put you up. We got you. You'll be right, just down the road kind of thing from the arena. We put them at Rivers. We figured they GPS. By the time they GPS, they were late because they thought it was right down the road.
Yeah.
Look, remember the kid hasn't been here since he was a kid.
Right. And you know what? If that's what you're picking at, man, get a friggin' life. Good Lord.
Yeah, but it's always got to be something.
It does. So this one guy, he's online and he's saying how terrible people we are. And
yes,
and of course, Women's Day was yesterday. So like everybody and their brothers sending me little zingers and this and that, the whole thing. And so this one guy, I DM'd him.
Yep.
And I said, "I'm sorry you feel that way. Are you a season ticket holder? I'm the head coach of the Albany Empire." And he said, "I wouldn't come to your dog crap, this and that." And I said, "Oh, okay." Because I was going to send
So my brother's messaging you?
Yeah, right. Okay. So I said, I was going to send you a personal check for your season tickets if you were that upset. And of course, no response. So I decided to look into this guy. And I did a little digging. And, he's living in the mom's basement. He's like 45 years old. And I thought, well, God bless him. I hope he's okay. But if that made you feel good, okay, then I'm all right with it. And that's how you almost got to take it as people, no one heard of the NAL on a national stage until that press conference. And then it was mentioned on ESPN, TMZ, Sports Center, Fox Sports, everywhere around the country. And they weren't just talking about Albany. They were talking about Jacksonville and Carolina and in Orlando. And they were talking about all the teams in the league and that we're getting ready to start our season and all that. So, I guess you can take with it what you want.
Yeah.
But I think we're blessed to have the Brown family with us. And I'm looking forward to a long, long, long relationship with them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As we've said from the beginning, it's all about sustainability. Keep the Empire here, keep it winning.
Right.
And they're going to be a big part of helping us do those things. Coach Rez, Kings of the NAL. Yes, I'm an Albany Empire fan this year. Going to be weird being a fan this year, but going to be here to watch. Good luck, y'all.
Thanks, Rez.
Appreciate you.
He's starting a new career.
What's he doing? As a fan of us?
So Rez was going to go and I think it was Tulsa. He was going to be the offense coordinator. As a DM in the construction business.
Oh, okay.
And so, or PM, project manager, I guess that's what it is.
Yeah.
And he's going to be able to do a little bit for his family more and be around for a year. And I told him, well, never say never. If things get, if you get the itch, I always got room for an equipment manager. No.
I knew there was a shot coming. I knew there was no way.
No,
There's no way you were going to be able to keep that one straight. There's no way.
No, I would maybe.
You two
no,
would
I
kill
would.
each other on the same staff. You couldn't be on the same
Oh
staff.
no, we'd
It'd be like
fine.
those beta fish. Sooner or later, you kill each other.
There's always one bigger fish.
Yeah, I know. But sooner or later, because you guys I enjoy conversations with both you guys.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to talk to both of you at once.
No, I think we would be like good beer buddies.
Yeah. Yes.
You know,
yes.
and coaching.
Right.
I don't know.
Sitting at a bar,
The older
debating,
you get,
debating
the
strategy.
mellower
Yes.
you get.
Sitting in a conference room breaking down film, I feel like you guys would kill each other. I really do.
He don't
Sooner
break
or
down.
later.
He don't break down film. Do you watch championship game? Okay. No, I'm just
All
kidding.
right. And, by the way, it's updates from the Empire. Coach Menas live here at the Techies Fire and Water Restoration Studios. And of course, the 2023 season presented by TransFinder for the Albany Empire, getting ever so close to the opening game, April 16th. The one downside about Antonio Brown and Touchdown A. Brown joining the Empire family, we're that much closer to me having to sit in a dunk tank. I can feel it. I can feel it. I think they're going to hurt me a little bit.
Do 8,000. He's in a dress.
Yeah, I don't care.
The
Whatever.
whole day.
Bring it on. I don't care. I'll be pretty. These legs, phenomenal legs. But I'll shave them that day too. I'll take
Actually,
it home.
let's get 7,900 people here. I'd be happy.
I'll do. You know, maybe I'll just wear the dress. You never know. You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta take care of your people. You gotta make sure.
Just
everybody
act
knows.
like it's Saturday night. Go ahead.
That's fine.
Wear that dress.
Listen, I'm Scottish. I'm gonna wear a kilt anyway.
Oh, there you
whatever.
go.
Doesn't
That's
make
cheating. That's
Doesn't
cheating.
make it. It's all there is. Speaking of cheating, the rules have changed just a little bit. So the first rule is obey. I'm sorry, you got to do it, Andy Griffith, Barney 5. The first rule is obey all rules. So we did like a quick update show on the rules with Commissioner Siegfried.
Yeah, but for whatever reason,
it's cringeworthy. A former employee of the league said we were cringeworthy.
that guy's an asshole. Okay, go ahead.
But I think just a quick run through.
How's his career working out, by the way?
I thought he was working for Jackson.
You would
the Jags.
think so,
I
right?
thought he was working for the Jags. I didn't know he was a Jag off. I broke the camera. Hold on.
He broke the camera.
I'm so happy with my joke. I broke the camera.
Actually, we got censored by the FCC.
The FUCC.
Yeah.
No, so I just thought we'd be quick for our fans.
Yeah.
We just run through all the changes real quick and you know, that way our fans have a better idea of what's going on as per usual.
Yeah. Okay. For those of you that don't know, this year we have a elected committee, competition and rules committee that was voted on at the league meetings. And it's myself, Coach Gibson, Joe Clarkston, the head of officiating, Chris Siegfried, and I'm sorry, I forgot.
Joe Clarkson, Gibson, you, Siegfried.
We had an owner on there.
Is it Curran? It's usually Curran.
I'm sorry, it's Steve Kern.
Yes.
Okay,
Steve
I
Kern.
apologize, Steve.
Steve Kern is the one he likes to join clubs.
Long day, buddy. So what we did is we spent since October.
By the way, Rez said blue is his favorite color. You never know. Just saying, put it out there, let you know. All right, go ahead. So the rules.
San Antonio has blue on too. Okay, so we spent since October to about 3 weeks ago where we had worked on different ideas. We want to keep the game innovative, but yet we want to keep the integrity of the game. Okay. We don't want to make rule changes just to be gitchy. We want to make sure that one, player safety, and two is speed of the game. So there's not as many 3.5 hours, almost 4 hour games,
Right.
which it shouldn't be.
Right.
That's a lot for a player too.
Right. Well, and if everything's going right, it usually isn't that isn't usually the case.
Right. So covering the rules again very quickly, and then if you have questions, you can send them to us, and I'll try to answer them specifically if I can. But the kicking game, okay, so we all know we have the nets this year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The back of the end zone, the entire end zone walls are now dead.
Okay, so if the ball goes in the air, hits the back wall, of the
Ball
end zone,
comes to the 10.
goes to the 10. And if it bounces, if it one hops to the wall, still goes to the 10.
Goes 10. Wall's
Okay.
dead. Okay. So we have that. If you kick the ball to the right or to the left of the net, okay, and it doesn't come in contact with the net, it goes out of bounds, the receiving team will get 1 point.
Okay.
And the ball comes out to the 10.
This is the Menas rule, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're getting back at me. And I said, hey, screw it. For a point, if I'm up by 6 or 7 with 20 seconds left to go, I'm kicking that ball out of bounds. I'll give you a point. Okay. So anyway,
we here at the Albany Empire do not condone kicking the ball out of bounds.
Right. But anyway, so we went ahead and we looked at it. We said, okay, so that will what we really want to do is we want to make the game exciting on special teams. That's a big part of it.
Right.
Okay. So if the ball gets touched in the end zone by the receiving team, if they have contact with it, but they don't get out of the end zone, that's called a rouge.
Okay.
And the kickoff team gets 1 point and the ball comes to the 10. If you guys are noticing a theme here, the ball no longer comes out to the 20. The ball comes out to the 10 on all those types of penalties. All right. Now, if you do an onside kick, okay, or let's just say you do a pooch kick, we'll call it that. If you do a pooch kick and the ball goes out of bounds on the kickoff, in a pooch kick or an attempted onside kick,
okay,
the ball's placed where it went out of bounds.
Okay, cool. I like that.
Okay, but no points are awarded.
So kind of like the like a coughing corner punt in the NFL. Like if you can
Correct.
get it, and you okay.
Well, it's to your disadvantage as the kickoff team, because what you want to do is you want to kick the ball as deep as possible. If you're trying an onside kick and you miss it, the ball goes out of bounds, they may get the ball in the 11, they may get the ball in the 10, so on and so forth. Okay. All right. Substitutions. This year we're going to a system that Commissioner was smart enough and innovative enough to utilize it. We had this discussion why we haven't used it in the past is beyond us,
Right.
Which is a check-in with the official before you go in the game.
Kind of like what you see in the NBA and like in the NHL and stuff.
Volleyball,
like
soccer,
everything but us.
Yeah, which makes no sense. And I think last year we only had 1 penalty on subs, but I also made an error where I trusted a coach who was checking the boxes and checked incorrectly. And then I ended up arguing with the official, got the official to agree with me, and I was wrong after watching the film. So I don't want that to happen, and I don't want it happening to me, and I don't want it happening to anybody else. So the substitution thing should be perfect for us. Challenges. So each coach is going to get challenges. Your red flag, when you see me pulling my red flag out, okay? If, first of all, you cannot throw a red flag unless you have timeouts in the bank.
Okay.
Okay. Which eliminates you getting like a 4th timeout, a half. So if you get your first challenge.
By the way, Melvin Hollins, I'm not subbing, coach.
He won't either. Good. So
we're glad you know, Melvin.
Yep, absolutely. So look at your boy over there.
I know. I know.
So what's interesting though is
like if you shaved a bulldog and turned it into a human being, that's my quota.
I'm not saying that.
I can.
He signs my checks. I love him.
It's direct deposit. He'll sign nothing. As long as Gina likes you, as long as Mrs. Corda likes you,
he knows you're talking about him too.
Yeah.
All right. So back to challenges.
Yep.
So if you get your first one right, you get your second one right, you get a third one, which is kind of cool. The other thing is every game, a coach is going to be handed, a head coach like we did last year. You get handed a card before the game. It has all the officials on it. It has their number, what position they're doing. So you can yell at the guy by his name.
Perfect.
Right. So
it's kind of evil. I love it.
I know it's kind of
evil.
Well, it's accountability too, right? For them. So I love that. And you look at it now this year, when you flip the page over, it's going to have everything that's challengeable.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
like when you see a quarterback flip open his wristband, it's got all the plays.
So when you see me grabbing my card going, yeah, like that. But no,
last year you may have had to have an owner go out in the field, stop the game, and make the officials call the commissioner of the league to find out that something wasn't challengeable.
Okay.
Remember that hairless bulldog I was talking about?
So the other thing on the challenges is that the officials only get 1 minute to review.
Can we like what is it? Do you know what the rules are going to be? And you maybe have to ask. Can I put on like the Jeopardy theme music while they're doing a challenge in the arena?
You can.
Oh, let's do
Absolutely,
it.
you can.
I know, like referee, you're supposed to be nice to refs. You can't talk about refs.
Well, that's more for fan entertainment. So, and
Right.
Joe's got really thick skin. So,
Plus, if it plays twice, you know you're out of time. 30 seconds. The Jeopardy theme.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. So easy stuff there.
I like it.
We have a 1 minute rule change.
Okay, so this has been historically the longest 1 minute in the history of mankind. The end of the end of the game, the end of the half.
More injuries, fights, ejections happen in that 1 minute because out of desperation for going for the football or getting a little payback if it's out of hand, right?
Right.
Okay, so this year, here's how it's going to work. If you are up by 25 points or more,
okay,
within 1 minute, when the 1 minute timing rule applies, you can take the knee and the clock will run.
Okay. Because before you had to go forward.
If you didn't advance the ball at least 1 yard, the clock stopped automatically. Okay. So now I can still get the clock to stop if I'm a prick and just call timeouts. If I got 3 timeouts, just keep calling timeouts to make the game last longer.
Okay.
I know a guy who does that all the time, by the way. And
who could it be?
I'm not saying. And so the thing about it is that will get.
Are you lying when you say that?
Anyway,
I'll keep sharking for answers if I have to.
Okay, here we go. So as I mentioned, all the balls are coming out.
You told me I was too nice in the past. I'm trying to, I'm getting into it a little bit. Now that I'm not president anymore, now that I'm like director.
Oh yeah, you can say
I can do what I want now. It's Matt Woods' problem. He's the professional.
Yep. So then we have the 10-yard rule, like I said, on kickoffs. Everything's the 10 instead of the 20.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got that right. The deuce is still in play, right? So if you kick the ball through the uprights on the kickoff, it's 2 points. If you tackle the return team in the end zone, it's called a rouge, and you get 1 point as the kickoff team. Okay.
All right, let me ask you this, just perception-wise. Do you think it's harder to kick the deuce with the nets, like just because it draws your attention out? I know it's the same size up. It's the field goal is the same size.
We had a kicker that was so good back in the day that I would say to him, I don't care about the deuce, kick the post. And he could kick the post.
Because it's live off the post, right?
And that ball will come out to the 25
right.
if you hit it right. Like if you hit it at the base, that thing will shoot out like nobody's business on those rails.
That's cool.
So there's all kinds of really good things. I would just tell fans this. First of all, this is the last time I'm talking about friggin' rules, okay, until I break them. But we are gonna
By the way, I'm gonna give a talk about rules next week, just because. No. Just because.
But what we're gonna do is the idea behind bringing the nets back. I want you to think about this as fans. We've made it the purest arena football that you can have. The rule changes that we did make. Oh, and there's one other rule I forgot, which is the horse collar tackle. So we had it, but we didn't have it. And we this and we that. So if you get tackled anywhere behind with your hand inside the shoulder pads from behind in the past, that's a horse collar tackle, and it's a penalty. This year, if you get it from the side and they do the hip drop tackle with that, which the NFL is implementing, or in the front with the yank down.
So it's a full halo now.
I fought diligently for this rule because I've seen more knee injury and spine injuries happen off that type of tackle. So that's the last of it. Like I said, we're not talking about rules anymore. The rule book will be out to the public before camp or during camp. It will be out, published on the league website.
Right.
So
and listen,
get busy.
Yeah. And just some of you who have track of this kind of stuff, Dave Williams, it's last year's rule book with these changes.
That's it.
That's what we're talking about this
year. And
so,
I'm going to get probably 10 DMs asking me little nuanced things that happen. And I'm going to tell you respectfully, stop. So the thing about it is that we turn around and we look at it and we say, okay, we got the rules in, we've changed things. The league spent, several, I think 6 teams had to buy nets, or 5 teams. 5 teams had to buy nets and the steel structures and the aluminum structures and the support beams and the cables and the this and the that. And it's very, very expensive just to put them up and down and these arenas because of the unions and the this and the that, and safety factors got to come into it. We're doing that, so I would expect anywhere between 3 and 5 points being scored utilizing the nets. Now that could be a kickoff. It could be a fumbled kickoff off the nets. It could be a Hail Mary pass,
which I love. That's the thing.
Oh, and the rule is great because so now let's say you're on the 20, your own 20, and you're coming out, and there's 1 second left, and you're down by 2 or you're down by 4.
Right.
We'll say you're down by 4. This is a much higher percentage play. You do a Hail Mary off the nets. You throw the ball at a certain point where you have designed in your playbook where you're going to do this, and getting a pretty good idea where the ball is going to go, and you send your receivers down there, and it's a jump ball. Here's the cool thing. As soon as the ball hits the net, there's no pass interference.
So
we're going to be dropping
now
some
you
elbows.
broke the camera.
Oh, shit. Okay, sorry about that.
So, but like we were at the Patroons game, Albany basketball team. I was looking. I got some rebounders. We might have to get just for those plays. Yeah. Some big bodies.
But I mean, I can see guys like Anthony Cruz, just elevate, go up there, grab that thing, and or Prince, or
I was gonna say, like
Darius's basketball ability of rebounding, and
Darius's number one thing. He is. We jokingly say that Nick Hague is the Hulk because he's always so like just fired up. Mm-hmm. Darius is the Hulk. The more angry he gets, the more dominant he becomes in those situations.
Just ask Rez.
I don't want to. No, but it's like you see these guys. They talk to him, and all of a sudden they try to push him off the line or whatever. And then when they're laying on the ground in the end zone, and he's got the football, he does the flex over him.
You know what's funny? Did you guys see?
Rez is still here.
It actually.
I love him. He's got such a good sense of humor now.
I know now he's great. But did you guys hear that thing about Michael Jordan? How they would give him only enough minutes to be happy in the first, second, and third quarter,
so you could
because that way in the fourth quarter when guys were kind of like here's the difference. So Prince, he's going hard first, second, third, but man, that's the one dude I'd hate to go against in the fourth quarter.
Well,
is Darius, because he gets, like you said, he gets meaner as time goes on,
and when he's hurt, it's like a cage, it's like a corner animal.
Man, I just finished watching 2 hours of film this morning in here in the office, and I saw when he hurt his hip, when he went over the wall and he hurt his hip. And for the next 2 games, he'd get up and he'd kind of grab his hip, and you see me going over to him. Are you all right? You ready to come out? But, and him going, no, I'm not, I'm not going anywhere. But I mean, it's kind of funny because
he got mad when you wouldn't let him play defense anymore. When you made him OS, he got mad.
Hey, you know what? I think he got a little mad happy.
Right.
Oh, you mean I only have to play half the game? Oh, okay. No, just kidding. Because he returns balls. He does everything.
He does it all.
But he's always there. Anytime, like when I had to put him in certain games at DB, and I took his OS away from him, and I said, hey, I need you the last minute and a half to play defensive back. And he'd be like, cool, let's go. He didn't even flinch.
I remember this is shortly after the season ended. I happened to be in another market talking to somebody from another team, assistant coach or something. I'm not going to get into names. They literally said, I think the mistake that was made against you guys in the championship game is they should have really went after Darius's hip. And I said, 2 problems with that. First, I'll give you the politically correct problem. You would have just pissed him off. He would have had an even bigger game. The other problem is you would have pissed everybody in blue and orange off, and you would have had a problem getting to your car. And it was, I don't think it was taken as well as I meant it. But it's like, like they think there's people who think that if you piss Darius off, you're going to get in his head.
Hey, man, from a guy.
You don't want to be in there, first of all.
I'm going to steal a line that you taught me in 2021. And I will tell you this. I have homes all over the United States in people's heads.
Yeah. Yep.
And I live rent free.
Rent free, my friend. That was, it's the beauty is that everybody who hasn't had to try and stop Darius, hasn't had to try and stop our offense, has the perfect way to do it.
Well, here's the thing.
I know how to fight Chuck Norris.
You know, one of my absolute favorite people and best friends is Coach Ware.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right? He's like my brother.
The weirdest odd couple ever, but it works.
He is my brother. And I will tell you this. As much as you say how angry Darius gets and how fired up he gets and how this he gets and how we've had the Hags and the Ceesays and they go crazy and they this, the one little MFer I will not. I just back off when he goes off is Coach Ware. And Coach Ware will be on the headset to me. I'm gonna, you know, and he'll be saying how he's gonna score on him every single time and embarrass their children, you know. And he's gonna this and he's gonna. When you get him riled up, holy smokes, Darius is easy to handle after that because I'll tell you what, Coach Ware.
Well, Darius has the outlet.
I think they all feed each other.
Yeah,
and then they come into my office, and I'm like,
well, I mean, Darius has the outlet. Like Darius wants, when he gets ticked off, he can go hit somebody. Like Ware is not supposed to do that.
No, he does it in here.
Right.
So I get it on the headset.
Well, I used to tell people like, I have a very short fuse. You have to find it, but it's a very short fuse.
Yeah,
that's kind of dangerous.
So I don't. You know, here's a little insight. I don't ever get into telling Coach Ware during a game, like, here's what I want to do. You know, we have a game plan. He presents game plan to me. I offer my input during the week, but he does pretty much what he thinks is best for us, right? So as we're doing it in the games, though, there'll be times when I will get in the headset and I will say, you know, I'm looking at the clock and I go, run the ball.
Yeah.
I'll say, just run the ball. And the next play, he goes deep. And I go, hey, I said, run the ball. Next play, a little short out. I said, I'm coming out there. and then we'll run the ball. Or he'll score on the big long pass when I told him to run the ball. And he'll laugh at me in the headset.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
no, but
and here, let me be aware. All right, so here's what happens when I score with the pass that you didn't want me to do.
Yeah, that's
now here I am where I didn't complete it and I didn't run the ball.
Yeah, but yeah, right. And then he goes in the other door instead of coming by me. But you know, no, the thing about it, it's funny is because you know, I get it. When you're Coach Ware, you have the luxury of, I mean, look at all the weapons you have, right? I mean, I'm like Santa Claus with this guy. I give him everything he needs to be great. And I do that purposefully because it not only helps him, it helps the entire team, but I want to make him happy too, because that's how much I think of him as a coach. So as I'm signing players and recruiting and doing all that, I call him up and I go, it's Christmas. Here you go. It's Christmas. Here you go. And I'll send him another guy, But the funny thing is about it is that when we're doing all this stuff, if you get him mad, like if you get him legitimately mad, he turns into a guy that you wouldn't expect him to turn into. Where I'm that way all the time, he is not that way all the time. He's buddy. He's happy. He's smiling. He's always
polished. He's polished.
Yeah, whatever. His head's polished.
Also true. Well, him on a golf course.
No, he's
him on a golf course is not what he's an angry dude.
Yeah.
I've never seen him happy.
We actually had the conversation about the time that we all went golfing and you and him got into it about something and you're going back and forth. And I'm sitting in the cart going, I just want to hit, man. I just want to hit. But it's funny when
he was taking like 6 mulligans on every drive. I wanted to go drink. Okay. I was running out of beer in the cart.
I will just say that, yeah, we have fun.
It's good family.
We hit a lot of balls.
Yeah.
But it was, the thing about it is that when you look at,
you start at 10 a.m. and it's dark by the time you're done. Cause
hey,
mind if I hit another one? You say yes once and all of a sudden he's emptying golf bags.
Nah, he's gonna write in and challenge you.
As long as he doesn't, Mrs. Ware doesn't, I'm okay.
Yeah, you don't. No.
I don't mess with her.
She is.
See, you want to talk about stand by your man?
Mama bear.
Yep, I love it.
Yeah, she's a good woman. So anyway, that's the rules, guys. What Was there what else were we going to cover before we have a special guest too today?
Well, yeah. So we definitely want to hit the rules. I want to point out, because I think it's something that we all kind of echo. Rez said that Ware should be a head coach soon, no doubt. I think he'd be one right now. I think you two.
We've had some chats about it, and listen. Our coaching tree is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right now, for being an organization since 2021, we've made 2 head coaches, 3 assistants, moved up on. We had a young man who started with me in 2021 as an intern, Sam Nelson. Sam, I don't know if you're listening. So proud of you. Had a job with us as an intern coach, took a high school position after us to get some more real world experience, and then called me on my way in here today and said, Coach, I just want to thank you for everything. You're not going to believe this, but I just took the job as tight end coach at Union. So, you know what? And so getting back to Coach Ware.
That's awesome.
So this offseason,
he's a great kid.
Coach Ware and I had a bunch of offers come in, and Coach Ware had a significantly high offense coordinator job presented to him. And he called me up and he said, we're not breaking up the band. I love it here. I love you. I love us. We're going to be together. Could Coach Ware go coach anywhere he wants to go coach? Yes. But sometimes just because you have maybe a title doesn't mean that you're going to create the excellence that we've been able to create together. And we've worked together since the second week after the championship game. Coach Ware and I have worked every single day. I got here today. First call this morning was to Coach Ware. We're still working. We'll do that now until the end of the season. Then we'll take 2 weeks off and we'll do it again. If the opportunity were to come up where he gets the job offer that he truly wants, or one that is too good to pass up for him and his family, I'll have him pack, man, and have a tear rolling down my face and be happy as can be for him. But
I sabotage him.
I really hope I like I said to him, I could see this going on for a long time.
Well, I like,
this partnership.
Anybody who reached out to me, hey, you were team president. What did you, what did you think of Coach Ware? And I'm like, how many awards does he have? That's what you got to ask yourself.
Oh my God.
I don't want to go. I don't want to leave. I love Coach Ware.
Don't do that again. What you just did now gives me 2 days of calming down Coach Ware. Okay? 2 days.
Oh, Predators are screwed on the 16th.
Oh my God.
I didn't say that. Nate said it down in Orlando. I didn't.
We may score 100. You get them riled up, man.
I'll know. So like I only hear from Damon once in a while. Like, you guys have that. You're locked at the hip, and he'll tell me he doesn't want to bother me or anything like that. But as soon as he knows he's going to be in, I'm going to get so we're going to be free this day. And I was wondering if you could give me some golf. Call your buddy over at the Hideaway, could you? And I'll be like, all right, let me take care of you. Yeah. That's when I know he's coming to town. When I get I'll get a golf ball emoji or something. Just that's it.
Yeah. He likes to take the very seldom time we ever get off. Yeah. And I try, that's the other thing is, everyone says, oh, head coach. And he said to me one time, he said, I get downstairs, I do my work, visit with you, get our work done. I can go home. You're still sitting here dealing with non-football stuff, right, or, this or that. And he said, there's a lot to be said. I mean, I even heard, who was it? It wasn't Belichick. It was Tampa Bay.
Bruce Arians.
Yep. And BA said, when I was a coordinator, I really enjoyed football a lot.
Right.
And I busted my ass to become a head coach, and I really miss being a coordinator.
And you see it a lot of times too. Like, and I don't think this is the case with Damon Ware, but you see it where you're like, even some successful coaches, you can see the joy die. You can see like the point where it's like, you know what, that person wishes they were an OC or a
Okay,
DC
so
or special teams.
yeah, and I know
There's
there's
nothing wrong with that. If you're
right.
good at it, do it.
And there's probably a couple coaches from around the league listening to the show, and I think they'll reiterate what I'm about to say is that um, I really enjoy being a head coach more than I enjoyed being a coordinator. And that's
Right.
just me because I like the leadership role and the challenges that comes with everything football, non-football, contractual, player safety rules, this, that. I enjoy that as the whole embodiment of that. And then the leadership of hiring great quality people to surround yourself with, and then trying to give them everything they need to be successful and be great.
Right.
Because again, would we have the success we have um, without Coach Ware? Absolutely not. But you could say the same thing about myself. If it was just Coach Ware, would he have the success that we had? Maybe not. Would we have the same success without the McKinneys and the coaches and
The
Jay Riches
and
and all the guys? No, probably not. So again, it's surrounding yourself with all these great people and then being a people manager. Like, the first day of camp, I tell the coaches this. I said, I don't want to be coaching players at practice. Now I'll coach them up on certain things, but I don't want to be coaching players. Now this is before I'm the coordinator. Now I'm a defense
Right.
coordinator too,
Yeah.
but I want the coaches to coach the players and the head coach coaches the coaches.
When you kind of have to, in order for you to do the head coach job, correct me if I'm wrong, you've got to sit back and watch that practice and be
Right.
like, okay, this is where we're going to have a problem here
Right.
because isn't where if you're like you have a history as an offensive lineman, so
Right.
naturally you'd be able to coach an O line probably better than whoever we bring in, and
Right.
but if you do that, then the D line suffers,
Right.
or the secondary,
Right. So you try to get great guys. So like we got Michael Custer coming in as our O-line D-line coach. So now I don't have to be down in the corner of the end zone at practice watching him do his thing. I can watch the film after, but I can spend time watching receivers, quarterbacks, DBs, linemen, linebackers. You can watch everything.
and the coaches,
right?
Yeah,
And then going around and doing my thing, which is what I really enjoy. So the way we set up practice,
and
is,
as I like it, I can run in and go, coach, this is wrong. I don't want to do it. Can you help?
just DM me like everybody
coach.
else does.
I like to bother you in person.
Okay.
It's more fun for me personally.
Yeah.
Brian Williams is very into this beard. Coach, please tell me the beard is staying this season.
Yeah, it's my playoff beard.
It's dialed in. You got now you're in the sun. Our makeshift shade.
Scoot over a little bit.
Yeah, here.
Oh, there you go. Relief.
Maybe Ben can run in and slide our shade over a little bit.
No, he'll knock it over a little.
He'll just give me the finger. Little Ben is the nicest guy in the world, but he hates me. Hates me to death. All right, so let's do this. Squad goals. What's going on with the roster? Is there any new changes? I know that we, as an organization, and you especially, because you didn't want to give people false hope. We're not doing an open trial this year. You're going to have hard cuts already. Like to make the cuts to get down to our game day roster is not going to be easy.
Well, what's funny is, and I won't give out any names, but like yesterday, I got a phone call from a coach who was calling me on behalf of another coach from another league.
Okay.
And he said, would you please I had a couple players go down in camp. Do you have anybody that you don't think is going to make your team do that? And I said, no, I think, I have to go in thinking everyone's going to make the team and let them work it out. Right.
Right.
But I said, I've got 3 players that I passed on that could start for you. And I gave them their name and phone numbers so the kids could have an opportunity to continue to play, even though I passed on them, but also to help this other coach be successful, which like I said, we're a small fraternity. You should help each other. That being said, we're going to have to let go 8 or 9 players before the first week happens. So we'll probably make our final cuts around the 8th of April. I will tell you this. Every player that we're going to have to release could start for anybody else tomorrow. So I'm always going to look at whether it helps us or hurts us. I'm always going to look at seeing if I can first trade them
Right.
and or for future considerations, excuse me, or, find another home for him before our league, another league, whatever. But then again, I always say this: if you're a great kid, I will work my ass off to make sure you're playing football next year. If you're a dick, I don't care. I'll put you on the bus.
And I've seen it, and I've seen both happen.
Yep.
So with the free agency stuff that's going on in the NFL right now, you got guys jumping around, stuff like that. As somebody who played in the NFL, did all stuff, played at multiple levels, what would you prefer? Like, obviously it's a little different when you have that name recognition, but like, do you want to be placed somewhere, or do you want to be cut loose so you can go find like wherever you want? At our level, you want to be placed somewhere, right? Because there's only so many jobs.
Yeah.
So for you to be able to help them out, go get the gig, it's bigger. The NFL, you kind of want to be cut loose so you can go try to get the most money.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, you want to get as much of value as you can. No, you always want someone to want you.
Okay.
I just had this conversation with a quarterback. We're actually working right now we have one more player that I really, really want to bring in. Okay. And I will know on St. Patty's Day if this player is going to come in. And
is he a leprechaun?
Oh my God, he is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And if we're able and fortunate enough to get this guy, it's going to make for some very hard decisions on April 8th, either for him or for someone else. And if in fact that happens, that's great. But he's a guy who became a free agent and now doesn't have a home. And so I look at teams like the Patriots. Okay. Yep. And if you look at their championship teams, a large majority of football players on football teams are free agents.
Right.
And you look at guys on like the Patriots, a lot of those guys are non-drafted free agents. So there's two different kinds of free agents. Right. There's the non-drafted free agent where it's almost, I don't want to say collude, but it's almost like they all get together and say, yeah, this guy's great, but let's not draft him. We'll get him super cheap.
Right. Let's see if Brock Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant this year. It's very rare that a quarterback is Mr. Irrelevant.
Right.
Because you can just wait and bring him in as a cheap, undrafted free agent.
Boy, that son is kicking my butt, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on you now.
Right. I'm going to lean forward.
All right, there you go. Posture.
But I guess if it were me and if I had talent that some of these young men have, I think I would like to explore and see how much money I can get. I mean, look at that Lamar Jackson thing, you know. If the worst thing in my life is I'm only getting $34 million a year and I don't want it, I want the $150 million guarantee stuff. How about your boy from Oakland? I mean, talk about a lottery winner.
Well, the thing is with Derek Carr, I still feel like he kind of I think he got the poopy end of the stick.
Well, you know why he got Gruden.
Well, and then he got McDaniel, who didn't want him at all.
Hey, man, I'll tell you this right now. I'll say this out loud. Gruden's a hack.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
And I'll tell you why he's a hack.
You go from Hooters cook to Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, Corona guy. And the only reason
I actually have that bobblehead. Have you seen it? It's like this tall. Yeah.
The only reason I say it, and respectfully so, the Super Bowl he won, who built that team? Tony Dungy built that team.
And he beat the team he built.
Yeah. He goes, here you go.
Right.
Yeah. And he beat the team he built. Right. Exactly.
But then Dungy did the same thing with the Colts.
Of course he did.
Because we'll see, like, for whatever reason, Gruden had trouble putting the defense together. So the defense was built. He's brought in his offense and he won. And then Dungy had trouble putting an offense together. So he takes over an offense in Indy and he wins.
But see, here's the funny thing is if tomorrow Mike came in and said, hey, you know what? We're going to let you go. If the coach they bring in doesn't win the championship with the team I built this offseason, they're garbage. Okay. But if they come in and win with that team, I'll take some pride in the fact that I built that team. Okay.
Well, your boy Jerry Jones, when he kicked out Johnson, why can't I speak? When Switzer came in.
Yep.
And took Johnson's team, won a championship.
Right.
It's like, okay, well, you You won, but you won with his, and you weren't able to do it again afterwards. And I'm not just saying that because Barry Switzer hates me. I'm saying that because it was also true.
Barry's not a great guy either. I mean, and look, I'm not saying Jimmy Johnson's the poster boy for being a great father and football coach. I mean, I remember the 60 Minutes where he said, "All right, your kids are a Super Bowl." He goes, "Super Bowl,"
Right.
like it was nothing.
Well, it's hard to do both.
Right. And the thing about it is that when you look at these guys who are such great coaches, okay, well, who's the guy who was at USC? Was it USC, the guy who had the drinking problem and he got fired? So Alabama hired him last year, and now he's the new coach at Texas.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because everyone who goes through their little rehab, I call it, goes to
Sarkisian, right?
Yeah, goes to Alabama.
Yeah, it's
like Bill O'Brien, all those guys. They
Yeah.
all go to Alabama, and God love Nick Saban. He gives them jobs.
Right.
You're my
Lane
number
Kiffin-
3 consultant.
Right.
You
Lane
know?
Kiffin goes in now.
Right.
He can do whatever he wants.
Right. And he does his thing. And so you talk about there's free agents and football players, and there's free agents and coaches.
Yep.
Right. So there's coaches that go through the same process. The thing about it is this. This time of year, I talk to so many young men that feel like they should be in the NFL coming out of college and just never were given the opportunity to go. They had a bad pro day. Their senior year, they got injured early in the year. COVID was a problem with guys getting drafted. All these different things. And the one common denominator is, and will always remain, that the NFL is a league of opportunity.
Yeah.
Period. So if you're able to perform at the right moment in the right time in front of the right guy, look at Belichick, man. He goes to like Eastern Kentucky looking at defensive ends where everyone's out at the combine, and he's looking at one guy in a pro day,
right?
And all of a sudden that guy ends up being an 8-year veteran in the NFL. It's just cultivating talent. There's so much talent everywhere that if every coach in the NAL right now had to cut every single player in our teams and could not re-sign them and had to go find another batch, we'd have another batch next week. Because there's so many, not as good, not our guys. I'm not taking anything away from, but that's how many guys are waiting for opportunity.
Absolutely. Rez has got a good question. How much effect on the younger players will the Nets have who don't have any experience with the Nets? Will those teams struggle to be able to push through it?
You ever see whack-a-mole?
Yeah.
That's what they're going to look like. They're going to be going and they're going to get whacked. It's going to be.
It's intense.
It is
intense.
When you walk into the arena, and I challenge the fans this, when you walk into the arena, we really got to slide this thing over an inch or two.
I got it. You do this, folks. I'll do that.
Okay. I'm going to just slide over a little bit.
Well, I'm going to slide that thing over so you're not going to have it.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, only the finest here at Albany Empire. But the thing about it is, there we go. It's a beautiful, sunny, 28-degree day here in Albany. I don't even know where I was with this thing anymore. Okay, so the Nets, the biggest thing is going to be the learning curve. So early in the year, you're going to see a bunch of touchdowns scored off the Nets, where you're going to have to coach it as the season goes. Now, you can do as much preseason stuff as you can, but that's like trying to predict where an oblong-shaped piece of leather is going to bounce, okay, or rubber is going to bounce. So you're going to see some early air stuff, probably the first 2-3 games. About 4th and 5th game of the season, special teams will be pretty dialed in, I think, where guys are going to know strategically where to kick the ball.
Right.
The return team's going to know strategically where to be when the ball's kicked. There's going to be nuances of coaching with pooch kicks, short kicks, long kicks, squib kicks. Anything that you can think of in between will be in play. Again, I challenge everybody, walk into your arena, whatever city you're in, and tell me it's not like being in the Coliseum.
Right. Especially now, because it's going to be.
Yeah, it's like.
Right. It is.
And it's going to be fun, man. It's
some of these, and
Warriors heaven.
Well, the beauty of Albany is like we saw the Nets in 18 and 19. So we're a little ready for it. There's going to be some of these teams who haven't seen the Nets in 100 years or ever. Even the fans aren't going to know what the hell to do. The ball's going to go flying off the nets. They're going to think it's dead. It's not. It's just an invite for a rugby scrum. It's gonna be fun.
Can't wait.
I do want to. I don't know if this is. I feel like this is going to be a joke. Hal Talbot, what kind of car does Jim Tressel own? I assume that's going to be something bad about. It's going to be like a BW because he didn't say M or something. It's going to be. It's got. I feel like a Michigan joke's coming. I feel like Jim Tressel Michigan joke is Ohio State Michigan joke is coming. Oh, here we go.
What is it?
Lloyd Carr. I was right. Yeah. Any day's a good day unless Ryan Day is coaching against Jim Harbaugh. So we got a guest coming up in just a little bit, but some of the things with the Nets, I think you're dialed in on it. I think it's the same as this year where we did when we went to Ironman and the first couple games, there was some questions with the subs and, everybody was kind of getting used to it.
Actually, just the first game.
Yeah,
the first game I sucked because I overcomplicated it for my team. I cost us the first loss. Me personally, I did. And the thing about it is, I tried to make it so simple, I made it complicated. And then some teams struggled, some teams just cheated. It's not, listen, and I'm not saying players or coaches cheated. I'm saying that sometimes cheating is not hiring the right people to monitor at their venues. Like I can honestly say I talked to a guy at one of the venues and he had never been to an arena football game and he was handling the substitution charts for the officials.
Yeah.
And I just kind of looked at him and I went, okay, we're screwed.
Well, that's
yeah.
And respect for taking blame for the first game, but we then started to get it right. There was officials who didn't quite understand it. There were people, and you saw it go to the point where, give credit to Commissioner Siegfried, he went to every game after that. Like he went and made sure he was in every arena so that he made sure personally that everyone knew how to do the job.
Coach Ware called me today. And we were talking about a certain team that was in the championship game that the two games that we lost, the one game I cost us, the other two games, we got so screwed.
The San Antonio game was
that I'm not even talking about San Antonio yet. Guys dropping the ball hitting the ground, catching the ball after it hits the ground, they're calling it a touchdown, and then me arguing until veins are popping out of my head and they're looking at me like, what the heck are you talking about? And then so those two games, San Antonio game, God bless them. God bless them. I did not know blind people could work as officials, but these guys not only were blind, they did not know the rules of the game.
Yep.
And they were calling Jack out of the box, and Jack was in the box, and they kept throwing the flag and taking away interceptions and taking away turnovers and taking away this and taking away that. And, it was so bad that at halftime, on the second time we played them there, I made sure we called the commissioner to talk to them and explain the rules to him. And he comes out and he goes, yeah, sorry, we were wrong. And I'm like, oh, shit. How I didn't commit a felony that day and just strangle the guy right there on the field was beside me. But that's not good for anybody.
Right.
So fans, you want to learn the rules. Coaches want to learn the rules. Players want to learn the rules. How about the officials learn the rules too this year? And this year, to the credit of the commissioner and to Joe Clarkston, we poured money into the officiating training, and now the officials are properly being trained, and they will be attending camp.
I love that.
So crews will be coming to camp. Right. We both have fought for that crews will be coming to camp so they can get their practice in and they can refine their trade and all that. Because I'll tell you what, thankless job, yes, but screw that. Know your craft.
Fair.
Okay. We work too damn hard for somebody who does this part-time to take away from. I told the one official in San Antonio, I said, you understand, you affect people's careers, people's pay, people's livelihood for their families when you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
And
there's a lot of lines.
to his credit, he apologized, but screw that. I mean, it's
Right.
like, sorry I hit you, but
Yeah. Hope everything's okay.
right.
It's one of those weird moments where I get to introduce the head coach of the Empire to the head coach of the Empire. This is our good friend Jeff Jones. He's the head coach of the Empire Elite Travel Flag Football Team. Hey Jeff, how you doing?
Good, Jeff. How are you, Coach? How are you?
Good, Jeff. How are you?
Good, good.
Show. My condolences.
I love referees. Let me just get that out of the way. I love referees.
See now, ladies and gentlemen, what is the age group you coach?
11 and 12-year-olds.
I rest my case, Your Honor.
Yeah, they're good then. They're nice.
Yeah, that's when they're sweet. Call the penalty and apologize. Yeah.
What's going on in the land of the Empire Elite?
Well, we got our first ever tournament this weekend, so we're pretty excited about it. We're a brand new team affiliated with the Empire, which we're thrilled about. We have some friends in common. Von Schiller's son is our quarterback.
Brady.
Little Brady, yeah. And so
we here at the Empire, we promote family values almost as much as we promote family. So
we're huge in the
yeah, so we have our first tournament this weekend in New York City down on Randall's Island. So we're pretty excited about that. I don't think some of the moms are excited about the weather forecast, but what are you going to do?
All right, so with a travel team like you got, how can you help? How can the people who support the Empire Elite Travel Flag Football Team?
Well, they can follow us online. We're going to be having some social media created here very soon. There's a couple apps that we can televise the games on that they can watch.
Oh, nice.
The kids will be there's an app called Game Changer that we're working to get the games shown on, so grandparents in another state or people around here can tune in and watch us. Yeah, but we're pretty excited about it. We're going to be traveling all over the East Coast this summer. Looking forward to it.
Well, that's great.
That's fantastic. And so, I got to make sure everything's covered, or Charlotte and Steve will never let me leave the fire. So, we just support what you guys needed this time. That's how we do it. We check in, we check on your social, and we follow the team.
Correct.
Now, are you gonna be playing anything locally?
Yeah, we play in a league locally on Saturdays at Akrons.
Okay.
Most of the team, I would say 80% of the team plays together. We have a couple kids that are on different teams that we've asked to come play with us, and their parents were gracious enough to allow that. So we play there. As far as local tournaments, unfortunately, there's not a lot of local tournaments, which is why we have to travel. I've been in contact with the guy who runs the leagues about running the tournament. Unfortunately, they were full this year, so we're looking for next year to host a tournament in this area, which will draw anywhere from 75 to 100 teams across probably 6 different age groups, girls and boys.
Mr. Mayor, did you hear that?
Right. How much money can I make hosting one of those tournaments, Jeff?
That's a great question. I have no idea.
Hey, we might start something.
There you go.
I mean, we're already talking to the team.
Well, I want to come out and watch this play. So locally here, when would be my next opportunity to go and watch your team play?
Would be, we're away this Saturday. We're away next Saturday. We play a New Rochelle tournament next Saturday. So probably 2 weeks from this Saturday, we'll be at Akrons.
Okay. I'll be in camp.
One more time, Jeff Jones. How do we watch the team? You got one coming up this weekend.
Yeah, we're going to probably hopefully get that out to Charlotte and Steve so she can pass that along and put the app out on the website so people can tune in. It's an app called Game Changer. So you can tune in and you can listen and watch what's going on.
Jeff, do you own that app?
Excuse me?
Do you own that app?
I do not own that app. I wish I did.
All right, well, Jeff, man, we appreciate you. Make sure you represent. I mean, a little bit of pressure. He's been coaching the Empire for a couple of years. You have some fun with a ring. So,
yeah, no pressure, right? No pressure.
Yeah, that's what I say every day, Jeff. Don't worry about it. Hey, if there's ever anything I can do, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'd love to come and help you in any way.
No, we appreciate that. We work, Brady obviously works with Sam, and so we've got to know some of the players over the years, and the kids are they've been great, and the Empire has been great, and hopefully we can continue to build the relationship going forward and make the Empire proud.
Thank you.
We
Likewise.
appreciate that. Thank you, Jeff, man. Good luck this weekend, and let us know we can do to help.
Travel
Thank you.
safe. God bless.
All right, see y'all.
I know.
There he goes. Our man Jeff Jones, the Albany Empire Elite flag football team, and
How cool is that?
12 years old. I mean,
Travel?
6, and then we can
Travel.
Yeah.
11 and 12
Right.
travel team.
right.
Huh.
Might travel better than us.
Middle seat on hey, so I had this terrible dream
Pull
the
the
other
pin, I roll it in, and I walk out of the room.
I had this terrible dream the other night, and this is the truth. I actually woke up Susan. I said, "Oh my God!" She goes, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I said, "I had a terrible dream." She goes, "Nothing with the kids." I said, "No, middle seat on Frontier Airlines." And she thought I was kidding. It was brutal, and we were going to West Texas.
Odessa, Friday Night Lights. Is it all right? Come on, there's got to be something. I know you're a grouchy old fart when it comes to some of this stuff, but like, is there still a football mecca you haven't visited yet that you can't wait to see? I legitimately was talking to my friend who doesn't watch sports. Oh yeah, there's a team in Odessa. He goes, Friday Night Lights. I'm like,
oh, that stadium?
Yeah,
it's like 25,000 seat stadium for high school,
right,
and they sell out.
right.
That'll tell you how boring the town is. I would say if there was one place I have not been to that I really would like to go to and watch a football game, would probably have to be the new Dallas stadium. I have not been there yet, and I just want to go once and see Jerry's World. I'm a huge fan of Jerry Jones. For those of you that don't know this, I got to spend some time with him, and he got a college education, and during a football game for like 4 hours, him and I talked, and it was one of the most incredible moments of my life. And during that time frame, when we were doing it, and he had visions of this back in 2001, 2099, 2000, of having Jerry's World like that.
That's
where
awesome.
Kids could go play high school football games there, their practice fields there, their medicals there, the orthopedic doctors are there, everything under one roof. If you can imagine that, pretty incredible stuff. I mean, I would love to get a tour of that place.
One of my old co-hosts was the on-field host for Cowboys games. So what I do for Empire games, he used to do for Cowboy games. And he goes, it's the scariest thing in the world because the place is so big that while you're on the field talking, you can't hear anything.
Yeah, I believe it.
Can you imagine like being in the middle of 70,000 people and it's quiet?
Yeah.
It's not, but it's for you.
I mean, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. So did we have any wrap-up questions? Anybody, anything? Because this is the last time about rules. Oh, yeah, I'm glad to be back.
A lot of people just happy you're back. Questions about rules. I think we like, that's why I like, pull the curtain back. Coach and I were talking about doing the show today. I was like, do you mind just running through them? Because I just knew that if you just kind of broke them down, it was going to be easy. And it feels like I got a little better understanding of everything myself.
Yeah. I mean, it's, they're not complicated. They're just new. And we did it again for player safety and speed of the game for the fans. The biggest thing is, I want you all to think about this. Our first week this year, we have a bye.
Right.
So we get an opportunity to watch Cobras play Gunslingers, Fayetteville's playing Orlando, and Jacksonville's playing West Texas. Okay. No more undefeated there, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
how shocking of an upset would be if West Texas was able to take down Jacksonville.
Okay, I'll say this to Coach Tate Smith, who's their head coach.
This is with respect. This is
great respect. If you beat Jacksonville, I will send you a case of scotch, your preference. Okay, and a box of cigars that you will die for. All right. So go get them, buddy.
I've been there for being Jacksonville. I'll take a bottle and a smoke. I don't know. Whatever.
I'm serious, man. That would be the upset of upsets. But here's the thing. Here's the good thing.
Yep.
We get the bye week, right?
Yep.
So there's 6 teams playing.
Right.
3 will have wins. 3 will have losses.
Right.
And we haven't even gotten the sweat on yet.
Well,
okay.
I know you'll have them sweating.
We're gonna have a great opportunity to scout, which I'm really looking forward to.
Yes, absolutely.
On the
8th. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and Greg, is there still going to be a season ticket, a preseason event for season? There is. It's just obviously everything got changed a little bit. Like last week became, well, we met Antonio Brown on a Wednesday, and he was a part owner the next Wednesday.
You guys ever watch that show 90 Day Fiance?
Yeah. Now speed it up to 7.
Yeah, kind of like that.
I think Hal Talbot's got a great question. Week
Okay.
1 watch party. So we'll have to figure something out.
Maybe we can get their friends at Hooters to do something.
I will tell you that there are a couple things coming up at Hoots. They are they got the
Hey, we talk about Wednesdays at Hoots.
So the 22nd? It's whatever
No, it's-
Wednesday is. The following week is when we're going to be there. So we are going to be doing Wednesday the 22nd.
Oh.
5 to 7, happy hour at Hooters. Coach Menas, I'm going to finally get you to sign the NFL
Yep,
alumni pen.
Yep. We're going to be there for sure.
Yeah.
Excited about that, everybody.
Looks like we're going to have the Mr. Touchdown A. Brown with us.
Yep.
We're going to have it looks like
AB.
AB might be.
I talked to
For
his
that, I
dad
think he's
today, and he said that AB and him are coming in on
I think AB's
18th.
I think he's here for the 18th. I don't think he's staying after the weekend though. I think he has to go back because he's got so many. I mean, you can't.
He's a busy guy, man.
But he's in though.
Hey, I heard his music for the first time.
Yeah,
I actually like it.
it's not bad. It's not bad. I'm not like as much into rap as I used to be.
See, and
I'm old school.
I'm an
rap.
R&B guy,
Yeah.
guy, and old funk and all that. And like, if you'd have heard my music coming here, you'd have swore I had afro this big, and my name was "What's Up." It was fun because I was enjoying it. I love 70s funk and R&B, and I'm starting to get into rap.
It's
I'm
like
scary.
90s rap though. Like what I grew up with.
Oh.
You give me a little NWA, you give me House of Pain, you give me that's my jam.
No, but it's weird because I think it's rubbing off from the kids because every day at practice we're playing music.
Yep.
And I see, it's funny. Everything came from Earth, Wind, and Fire. Everything came
We
from
are
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
having the oldest white guy conversation we could ever have.
No,
I'm not
serious.
sure about the rap anymore. Everything comes from Earth, Wind, and Fire.
No,
like
but
we
you
literally
can see how it generated all this music.
if you just put the closed caption on,
I
you were
know.
like, "Tell me you're white" without telling me you're white.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, we are. It's
Yeah.
all right. We wear it
I'm
well.
kind of dark.
You are right now. They weren't lying earlier when they said you're pretty tanned up. I would have thought you had a rag top when you drove in. I wouldn't have thought you had a hard top Camaro.
It's good to be the king.
It's not. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. All right. I think it's time.
Yeah.
I think we roll, and we'll do this again next week. Now that you're in town, we'll
Thank
start
you,
picking
brother.
up every week.
I just want to tell you, thanks for everything you do. It's been, we tried to make this thing so we kept everyone informed through the whole year. Okay. And there was a period of time where Jeff was a traitor and he wasn't here, and we still kept it going. Right. I did it by myself in the basement. I did it in the office at home. We did it any way we could, with the expectation that we'd always be back together.
Yep.
And when it happened, I couldn't be happy. I think I shared with you how much you mean to me and how important this is, not only for the
I thought I was
fans.
dying. You heard about it before I did.
Yeah.
I've never heard you that nice to me.
Keep talking, you might. And all this stuff going on, and
he was run off the road by a very nice Camaro. It's weird.
Hey, I'd worry about the Colorado.
Well,
With Mama in the car.
Camaro's got the front spoiler on the bottom to keep the wind drag down on the front. I saw it when I was outside.
Yeah.
And I was like, thank God I don't have that one.
It's a curb killer.
Well, it would just there's no way I would drive that smart. There's no way I don't drive my truck smart. My truck has I call it go-go mode. It's got like rally sport mode.
Yeah.
And I'm bad on that.
This thing has modes too. It's crazy. But anyway, enough of the car.
But we still love Jeff.
Yeah. But no, it was great getting us back, and it feels like we're home finally.
Yep.
I got in yesterday, and I knew we were doing the show today. I was anxious to see you and see Mike and the guys and Matt, Ben, and them. So it was good to come home. And this is like coming home for me now. I spend half of my year here, and Susan's already got plane tickets booked for games, and she's coming in for the opener and staying till the second game's over. And we're gonna and the kids are all making plans. Tommy and Aspen's talking about coming out, and Phil's coming in.
Phil's laughing at me calling us old white guys, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. Ask Phil this question. Have him type it.
Okay.
What did you grow up on?
Phil, what did you grow up on?
Music.
Yeah.
In my car. In my house.
And what do you listen to now? That's what I need. If you're
Hey.
gonna tell me what you grew up on and tell me what you listen to now.
And you cannot say what I think you want to say because someone we know will get very mad at you.
Uh-oh. I'm tired. And listen, I want to point out, everybody keeps calling me traitor. There's now one team that has not, and thanks to me, will never beat the Empire. You're welcome.
They call our staff the coach killers. You're franchise killers. You just took out a whole franchise. Go down there for 2 weeks, they implode. I don't get it.
I gotta tell you, I like to think of it.
Oh Lord.
I like to think of it as when you turn the lights on and you see what's really happening.
What do you write?
Phil, listen, let me share with everybody. Phil, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Lakeside, Rick James. I'm a rap guy, but always keep the classics in circulation. All right. I like it.
That's from my son.
Right.
Yeah.
Who you turn into an old white guy prematurely.
Oh, Lord.
I hope you're happy.
Okay,
I hope you're happy.
I'm happy.
But no, listen, I talked to the guys down there. You know, obviously they're not in the NAL anymore.
I just talked to Chris this morning.
Chris McKinney, who we love. And
Asked him if I could do anything for him, get him a job, do something.
He's the one I feel worse about because, like that was part of the deal. He and I were going to go down and back to back and fix things. And then when what happened, which I can't fully discuss, I backed out.
you know what I feel like? I feel like the guy who said to Chris, who's one of my dearest friends, and said, "Hey, I got you a job at a zoo." I didn't tell him it was feeding the tigers by hand.
Right.
That's what I feel like.
Right.
I feel like I set him up.
Feeding the lions by hand.
Yeah, the lions even better. Yeah. But it was just not a good thing, and
no, it stinks. It was a bad fit down there, and I'm hopeful for them to do well in
their loss is our gain, brother.
I appreciate that very much. I appreciate that, and like I said, there's a lot of really good people down there. I hope for them. I wish for them. And since they're not in the NL, I can actually root for them a little bit, and then especially for Chris.
Yeah, I think they were. I asked Chris where they were going to be showing their games. He said something about smoke signals.
Well, it's more tech than I expected to have after being down there. All right, that's it. Before we go, we're going to really get in trouble.
Yeah.
It is updates from the Empire. The 2023 season single game tickets are on sale now. 518-714-2200. Ticketmaster.com. AlbanyEmpireNAL.com. The MVP Arena box office. Everything you got. Transfinders, our proud presenter for the season, or at least they were before we started doing the show in person again. And we can't wait to see everybody. Season tickets, first game, all the games are for sale, and we're excited. Keep your eye on all the social media because we're going to be announcing basically a tour of the capital region. We're going to be everywhere. We're going to be hanging out. So make sure you come by and say hi.
He's got me booked.
Yep. Listen, he came in and said, make me work. As you know, he's mopping my kitchen. But after that, we're out. We're going to do a bunch of fun stuff.
Do what we got to do here.
All right, everybody. Have a great one.
Thanks.
Go Empire.
Go Empire.